Out in the woods where the tall tales grow, Matt and Tim Dills on a faith-filled show. Casting lines in the water, prayers in the air, hunting dreams in the pines, Bigfoot's out there. Boots in the mud, got a Bible in hand, family roots stronger than the trees that stand. Gone fishing, gone hunting out in the wild, faith like a mountain, hearts like a child. Reeling in the truth, letting tall tales flow. It's a family affair on the Dale Show.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to Dale's Outdoors. Got a little bit of a different one where it's February 19th. Yeah. And I've got to go get my tree stand out of the woods, and it's still squirrel season. So, figured, it's at the end of the day too. So, figured, why not bring y'all along with me and see if we can't find more deer sign. We're going to go back to where I killed my 8-point, at least back in that same general area. I've also got a trail camera that I'm going to pick up, so while I'm there, we'll see if we got anything on the camera and see what we can come up with. Come along with me. All right, man, look at this. See that trail? I bow hunted up in there before, and I had a doe come past me, and I didn't think it was loaded up like that. That's one good thing about squirrel season. You can get out and squirrel season hits, you can kind of get out and check around, scout a little bit, stuff like that. I smell a dog. For real, I do. I just got a whiff of dog. I smell it real strong right here. Now, if there's a coyote out here, just probably gonna see getting shot. It smells very heavily of dog right here. Wet dog. I don't know. I actually think it's been a coyote go down this road, because I just come across a coyote track, and it rained today. So, yeah, look right here. Right there. There's dog tracks all through there. Now it might be, there's deer tracks. Yeah. Deer tracks. Dog tracks, some kind. I ain't gonna swear that it's a coyote, but there are people that walk up through here. It might have been somebody walking their dog, but if they was walking their dog, that thing needs a bath. These deer tracks all in that mud, and like I said, it rained today, so if that's the case, there might have been some deer come through here not that long ago. Here's an old corn cob. Okay. That cornfield down here at the end, so who knows? I just heard something. Hold up. I just heard something. My main goal on this is to go get my tree stand, but if I get a coyote running through, you know full well I'm gonna bust it. So actually, the reason I brought the shotgun was try to hit a squirrel or three, but if we get a coyote coming past us, it's on. Let's see. Rode them headed down here. There. Got a going up. Hear a dog bark. I don't know if that's a coyote barking or a. I got an idea. Starts sounding like a rabbit. See if we can get one of them to come up. I know you usually call more than that, but I'm not exactly setting out on a coyote hunt, but bad thing is I can't wait too long. I didn't bring a flashlight, so I need to go get my stuff before it gets dark. See what we come across as I keep walking. I got something right up there. I just heard it. There's something running right up there. I don't know what it was, but I heard it running. Probably, I'd guess it's probably a deer. This right here, if y'all watched my video with my 8-point, this right here is where I gutted him. Right in here. I drug him. There's that creek. Down in this little flat right here. And in that little flat right there. And that's where I gutted my 8-point. This old fallen in house right here has kind of become a little bit of my landmark. I'll tell you what, when you're walking in first thing in the morning, you see that behind you, it gets a little creepy sometimes. Tell you what I'm gonna do before I go across the creek here and get my stand. I'm gonna go up here where I shot that 8-point at. I made a mock scrape back on Thanksgiving. I'm kind of curious if anything's come into it. I'm gonna take a look at that first. I made that box scrape right here. Well, maybe. See right there where it's all bald? Maybe. I shot that 8-point right over there. So it's always kind of cool getting to come back to places that you killed something at. Coyote crap on the ground right there. I just saw that too. There might be. Kind of doubt it, but there's a chance I could come across some sheds walking up in here. I know for a fact, aside from that buck I killed, that there's a spike up, that there at least was a spike up in here back during bow season. So it'd be interesting to see if there's anything back here as far as antlers go or sheds. I think I'm gonna get my camera first because get my camera ought to be the easy one. Oh. Let's see. So, right. Keep going. Right here where it opened up is where I set my tree stand at. Still see the poplar I climbed up in. Right over there you can see where it's all scratched up side of it. And up in here, where I got my camera, there's my camera. Took me a second, but we got there. All right. Says I got 90 pictures or videos, so that's cool. So we'll get this thing unwrapped. Just trying to remember how we wrap this thing up. Put that out of there, around. There we go. Okay. Turn the power off. Go check it out later, see what we got. got my reader right there, but I ain't gonna waste time on it because I gotta go get that stand. Let's see. There's one little error I think I made. Should have brought one of my bags instead of just this vest. I bet I ain't got enough pockets to hold everything. So we can get that shut. I know you're just looking at a tree right now, but there we go. All right. Oh, let's get the camera. Now, make our way over across the creek and go get my tree stand. There we go. Yeah, you can see on that poplar tree right here where I went up and down it all season. Should be down in through here, off that way somewhere. Once I get into it, I'll know where it's at. Assuming nobody's coming here and stole my stand. I don't think it's anything I gotta worry about too much. Oh, there it is right there. There he is. All right. Man, it ain't soaked either. Honest to goodness, figures this thing will be soaked all the way through. All right. If we're being completely honest, I could probably leave this out here till season next year, but I'd rather not. I'd like to get it back to the house and see if we need to make any repairs to it. I don't think I'll have to. It still looks like it's in pretty good shape. It is a Summit after all. All right, let's get my... Y'all, don't laugh at me putting this thing together. This is the one thing I was never good at dealing with this thing, is putting this back piece back on. No. Yeah, let's try it that way, see how that looks. Now, if that'll hold, hopefully, we'll run this strap through there and get her strapped down, then we're going to get on out these woods. What I'm really curious about, if you want the honest truth, I'm really curious if it's going to be better. I think it is. Yeah, that's a little more compact. What I'm really curious about is seeing if I had any, like actually seeing if my buck that I killed this year came through on my camera or not, because I'm down decent ways from where I seen him at. So it really has me curious as to if he was even coming where I was searching for first part of the season. And I know y'all can't see crap, and I apologize, but I'm working on getting some new cameras. Did I strap that thing down at all? I did. But I'm working on getting some new cameras. Get some better. There we go. There we go. How's that strapped in? I think that'll do it. maybe. Let's see, am I wrapped up on something? No, it's just gonna be awkward. And that's the reason I started leaving it out here in the first place. Because carrying this bugger out of here was not fun. Oh. That, and I mean, I got the Summit Titan, which I ain't gonna talk bad about Summit because the stands are amazing. I love this one. Back over here. Ow. Briars. Figures. There we go. But I ain't gonna badmouth Summit. They make, to me, especially as a bigger fella, one of the best climbing stands I've ever been in. I've not been in many. Matter of fact, I've only been in one other one. It was an Ameristep. And maybe just, mine was second hand, so that could easily be the reason why I wasn't a fan of mine. Just somebody, which after getting this one, I've learned it's not a good idea to get a second-hand tree stand because you never know what's been done to it. But there we go. Not under the canopy anymore. But nothing, not taking anything away from Ameristep. I'm sure there's people out there that'll swear up and down by them, and that's fine. But being a bigger guy, and at one point being over 300 pounds, that Summit Titan I've got on my back, while it is 20 pounds, and that's not an easy carry going in and out of the deer woods, considering that it'll hold up to, I think, 350, 400 pounds. It made me feel better about using it. You know, I can get in it and I feel sturdy and secure. I feel safe. So, well, I'm gonna put y'all back on my chest and we're gonna walk out of here together. Always, I learned this the hard way. Always bring water whenever you're going hunting or scouting or anything. I had a experience years ago where I was actually we all have to talk to you on this. I was scouting a spot and I was in shorts. It was in June or July. I was in shorts, thought I was okay, and going in I took the short way, going out I took the long way, and I got to about half a mile of my truck and I started feeling sick. I started feeling woozy, queasy, and I sat down. And when I sat down, everything in me kept telling me to go to sleep. Like I wanted to just lay in the road I was in and take a nap. And I almost did. I just sat down and I closed my eyes, and then something, I say the good Lord, put in my head if you sit and you fall asleep, you're gonna die. Because it's June, like I said, it's June, July, it's hot. I didn't bring any water with me, and I was too tired to get into any kind of shade. And sure enough, if I'd have stayed in there like that, I'd have died. And I grabbed I had a Fitbit on at the time, and I looked at the Fitbit, and I think it said my heart rate was in the 160s. And that's how I started knowing I was in trouble. That, and I stopped sweating. Every bit of spit that was in my mouth just turned to foam. And I started thinking, at the time I only had my oldest son dating. I didn't have Logan and Charlie. But I got up and I was thinking, oh boy, you need to come up with something. So I grabbed my phone. I started playing music. And I put my phone up to my ear, and I just listened to music the whole way out. I just focused on the music. And I got to my truck and took my, like I said, I was in shorts, but I had on snake chaps, so my legs wasn't breathing. Took my snake chaps off, and then sat in the truck. I didn't have no water. I had one bottle that had like 3 drops in the bottom of it. And I tried to drink that, and I turned the air conditioning on. And the lowest my heart rate would go at that point was about 120 to 130. And that's when I started to cool off, and I was still dangerously high. So I eased my way out and got to a gas station and got some Powerade and some water. And I started to drink slow, as bad as I wanted to chug it. I just drank nice and slow. And then I could get my heart rate back down to 100. But up to that point, I was in trouble. And once I got home and I got to where I was holding Dayton in my arms, because he was just a little boy. He's just a little feller. I was holding him in my arms, and it kind of dawned on me all of a sudden. I was like, you realize how close you were to dying? And I told that story to a EMT, and they said that just everything that happened, as high as my heart rate got and the way I was feeling and everything, they said, man, I'm also surprised you're here. Like, the more I talked, the more they got freaked out. They're like, you shouldn't be here. So, if nothing else comes out of this, because I don't reckon we're going to be seeing these squirrels. That was me stepping on a stick. But I'm taking a new approach to the channel. I'm going to just start being real and raw. If we see something, we see something. If we don't see anything, we don't see anything. I've been holding off posting videos because we ain't been seeing anything. And, this is part of public land hunting. This is part of, I ain't got a hunting lease. I ain't got my own property. This ain't high fences, nothing like that. This is all public. So, there's good and bad that comes with it. A lot more times than not, you're not gonna see much, at least here where I'm at. So y'all might get tired of having a bunch of videos with no kills, but I'm gonna be real about it. We're gonna be raw about it, and I ain't gonna try to bullcrap nobody. Not that we was doing it before. I was holding off a lot, and now whenever we go out, we're gonna try. If we can't if we can't kill something, we're going to at least try to teach you something. So, as your lesson from Uncle Matt on that was, if you're going in the woods, first off, tell somebody where you're going. I called my dad on the way here to let him know I was coming out to get my stand. Make sure you know your way in and out. And I don't care if it's dead of winter, early bow season, turkey season, whatever. Bring water with you. Because if somebody's been there, they ain't a whole lot worse than getting dehydrated and you're still quarter to a half mile away from your truck and it's uphill. I've been there. So we don't want that. But I'm gonna put y'all back on my chest. I'm just gonna talk to you. We're gonna walk on out. Who knows what we'll come across? I might go back to that spot where it's smelling like a dog and have a yolk come across us. Who knows? Dog bark over that way. Now, when I was hunting on Thanksgiving, I was standing right here, and a dadgum deer, after I moved one step, jumped from right there, ran into the woods over there, and wouldn't give me nothing but a headshot. And I don't like taking headshots because I've seen deer with their jaws blown off, and they're still walking around, and that ain't fair to them. That ain't humane. That ain't ethical. I don't like doing that. I already felt bad enough about shooting mine this year, shooting him in the neck, much less blowing his jaw off. So, but yeah, I stood there because I want to say I heard something moving. It's probably that deer. But yeah, I stood there for maybe about 5 minutes. And it wasn't until I took a step that that deer got up and run off. Dadgummit. Smelling like dog again. Smelling like wet dog. I hear a dog up here. Let's see if it's a dog or a yoke. This right here is normally where we do our dove hunt at. We usually plant millet in them fields right down there. Matter of fact, when I was walking in, I heard some doves hollering. We can't do anything about them till September. So. Tell you what, while we're being totally honest, I already told you my survival story. Something that I want to start talking about on this channel is mental health. I have struggled with it before, and this is getting to come out here and do this kind of thing is that's how I fix my mental health. Coming out hunting and fishing and scouting and getting out in the woods, that's how I fix my mind. A couple days ago, again, real, raw, I was having suicidal thoughts, suicidal ideations about 2 days. And I know that's taboo for some men to talk about and all that, but you know, the thing is normally I'm good at figuring out what triggers these things. Something said, something happens, something like that, I can usually figure out what triggers it. I couldn't figure out what caused this. I didn't have a clue. And I know it's selfish of me to think, because if I was to do that terrible act, I would leave my wife, I'd leave my 3 great kids that you've seen on the channel, I'd leave my dad, my mom. The worst part is I would leave so many of them wondering, could we have done something different? Could we have done something to where he wouldn't have took this route? And that would leave them, oh yeah, my sister, sorry. But, you know, could we have done something to fix his mind, to make him feel better, whatever, to where he didn't want to do this? And I wish to the Lord I knew what it was that brought it on, but I don't. And my wife told me, she said, why don't you go out when I'm off and I can watch kids of evening? Why don't you go out and go sit in the woods? And that's when I started thinking, I was like, well, I do need to go get my tree stand and get my camera. So that's another reason that I come out here, was to fix my mind. And I know for hunting and fishing show, this is not something that gets talked about a lot on hardly any of them. You know, I do my best to always bring up the good Lord every chance I get. And things like that. And I've tried to say how important family is, because y'all seen my 3 amazing kids on this channel and things like that. But I'd be doing a disservice if I didn't mention something so near and dear to my heart, which is mental health. So as I'm about to pull up to my truck, I got a few more yards to go. I want that to be something that I stick with y'all at the end of this video, is if you're going through something, talk about it. You're not going through it alone. There's always somebody out there you can talk to. And even if you reach out in the comments and want to talk to me, I'd be more than happy to talk. But you don't have to suffer in silence. You don't have to go through it alone. There's always somebody out there that loves you. I don't care what you're going through. There's always somebody. And if you're somebody that watches this channel, like I got 51 subscribers, and thank you to all 51 of you. if you're in that boat, you think nobody cares. You know what, doggone it, I care. I might not ever get to meet you face to face, but I care. And I'm always checking comments on my videos. I don't get many, but I'm always checking them. And I'm more than happy to reach out to you. So with that being said, we're out at my truck. So I appreciate you. What I think I'm gonna do is, I think we're gonna finish this one by saying I love all y'all. I appreciate every single one of you. And on top of it, I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna end this video showing what all has been captured on my trail cam. So until next time, see you.